has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
Like a work placement?
Not exactly.
We create the world of the dream. What happens along the way and how that unravels, it's what the imagination is.
I'm kind of like a roller coaster person, and that's what it's felt like shooting this movie.
We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Chris does set pieces on a big scale. He does get that wow factor.
Mind telling your subconscious to take it easy?
It's about as big as Hollywood movies get.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick!
It's something of a heist movie. It's something of an action film. It's also a love story.
Anything can happen. Your mind is constantly firing watching this movie.
Wake me up! Wake me up!
Inception deals with dreams. Dreams are so intimate and small, and yet they have infinite potential. The idea that has always fascinated me about dreams is everything within that dream is created by your own mind as you experience it. For a filmmaker, it's an ideal world to be dealing with. It can be on the grandest scale, it can be as frightening or as happy or as exotic as any experience we can conceive of.
This notion of the dream world is something that has never been done before. You never really know what's going to happen next.
Dream state, your conscious defenses are lowered, and it makes your thoughts vulnerable to theft. It's called extraction.
Cobb is an extractor, and he's the best extractor in the game.
What's the most resilient parasite? An idea. An idea can transform the world, which is why I have to steal it.
Generally in his work, Cobb extracts ideas from people's minds.
See what you can do.
But Sato, played by Ken Watanabe, comes to him and asks him if he can place an idea in somebody's mind and make it feel real and like it was self-generated.
This can't be done.
Yes, it can. Just have to go deep enough.
It's a heist movie in many ways. The protagonist puts his team together to do a job.
I think of us as gentlemen thieves. They're con artists.
The seed that we plant in this man's mind will change everything.
The risks are much greater than they knew.
God, we should walk away from this.
The people that hired us won't accept failure.
And now they find themselves on this job that's a lot more dangerous than anyone signed up for.
It comes to a point where it's dangerously out of control.
They have no idea the risk they've taken coming down here with you.
All of us are going on this epic journey in this constant state of discovery and intrigue.
It's your responsibility! We are not prepared for this!
Cobb, the character played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is very firmly the emotional center of the story.
I think I found a way home. And this last job, that's how I get there.
He's really trapped in many ways.
Well, what are you doing here?
I thought you might be missing me.
Know that I am. Sometimes there are these moments in life where you have to kind of make the most of what you had. You know, Cobb has to make a choice.
With Leo, we really delved into the emotional life of the protagonist.
And it was very much a partnership with both of us.
Leo's performance is extraordinary. He's a very specific and creatively demanding actor.
You feel that he goes so far. You see it in his eyes.
Leo's one of those people who's just always made such great choices and is an actor because he loves to act. And whenever you're working with someone like that, it's really wonderful.
Around him, I really wanted to put together a great ensemble. Guys like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tom Hardy, Ellen Page, and it's always good to have some Michael Caine in your film. We have some incredible faces on camera. It was fascinating to watch the sort of chemistry between them and see them evolve as a group, very much the way the characters do in the story.
I got to work with an extremely talented director. His track record is impeccable.
And action.
There's no one better at being able to make these jigsaw puzzle storylines feel tangible and real and emotional to an audience.
It's amazing to work with a director who is able to create these worlds and stuff you've never seen before in such an amazing way.
In the midst of all these gargantuan technical feats that are going on all over the set, Chris strikes a really inspiring balance between having everything very thought out and at the same time being very open to spontaneity.
When you're working with Chris, it actually feels quite intimate. There's no ego attached. He's just there and he's present.
Chris is so hands-on. When he's making a film, he okays every drawing, every concept, every design.
If it's snowing or raining, he's out there with everybody, and I think his philosophy is that if he's asking the actors and the crew to do all that stuff, then he should be right in there too.
He really does push everybody to the limit.
I love watching them react with a little bit of horror, but it's fascinating to watch them break it down and challenge themselves to really give us something extraordinary in the film.
He's gone back to how movies, I think, really should be made.
Cut there. Show must go on.
What I constantly found was that as soon as you're entering into the idea of what can the human mind conceive of, you want to see this on a grand scale. On The Dark Knight, we'd shot in 3 different countries. For Inception, we shot in 6 countries.
We're able to get material in Morocco. We're shooting in Tokyo, London, and Los Angeles. We're shooting in Calgary.
The whole process of Canada was very exciting. Fortress Mountain was certainly the biggest set. Chris wanted to see these absolutely beautiful backdrops of mountains that could not be achieved digitally.
About a week before we went to Canada, there was no snow. The whole thing was built around snow, and so we were very, very tense. But 2 or 3 days before we all flew up there, we had an enormous dump of snow. From that moment on, it just didn't stop.
It was unbelievably cold, and we were out there shooting in blizzards and so forth. But what that adds to a scene is incalculable, really. Just being out there in the real conditions, the real environment.
I've been sent for ski training. I've done 3 days. And I think I'm sufficiently ready to break my hips.
Here we go.
You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you? So how did we end up here?
Well, we just came from the,
Think about it, Ariadne. How did you get here? Where are you right now?
After Ariadne first meets Cobb, she all of a sudden abruptly realizes that she's in the midst of a dream. And all the surroundings just implode.
In Paris, they're really not very keen on explosions. So we came up with a system where instead of using explosives, we tried high-pressure nitrogen.
When you see it on screen, people will be thinking, oh, how did they do that? Because they would never have done that with the real actors. But we put Leo and Ellen there.
No matter how surreal these worlds got, you also feel very grounded. You feel like there's something very real about what's going on.
It was very important to me that we do as much as possible in camera. Some of our more exotic effects, we tried to find real-world solutions.
Today, a lot of movies use CGI, but Chris wants to keep it as real as possible.
Ready, and action!
We felt real reaction on the set.
Killian and I had to do an entire sequence where the entire set would be shifting. We had to hold on to the actual set so it didn't slide off.
It tilted to 25 degrees. Chris didn't want anything to move. really wanted was to see these weird things happening.
It's very, very, very subtle, but like in dreams, things are just a little bit off.
There's this amazing sequence where gravity has gone haywire. The most brilliant thing of all actually was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's running around the walls, the ceilings, the floors. He's all over the place. And not a single shot is a stunt double for Joe. It's all him.
Well, me and Gravity went head-to-head a lot in this movie.
Whether we were being soaked by a massive water tank blasting around us, or whether the streets of Paris were disintegrating before our very eyes, what was amazing to witness was how they made it all seem like it was a day's work.
I like to think there's a little something for everybody in there. Certainly for me, my ambition was to create a grand-scale Hollywood entertainment.
I just keep thinking, I can't wait to see this movie. It's gonna feel just so incredibly real.
I don't think anyone could say that they did anything like this before. It's about trying something different. But at the same time, making a timeless movie.
The dream's collapsing.
I have it under control.
I'd hate to see out of control.
We mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.